Bo Nix cooks up the Giants defense, scores 33 points in the fourth. Nick, this was a Giants collapse, and we looked at it through that angle. But are you also, or are you ready to believe in Bo and the Broncos?
No, I am not. And I don't know. I should have asked Dust. I apologize. If we don't have their schedule, that's fine. If we do, please throw it up. They are going to. They're 5-2, and you look at their bye. They're going to be 6-5 headed into the bye and have to scrape their way into the postseason.
Interesting.
They have scored 13 points total in quarters 1 through 3 of their last 3 games, all wins. 3 points, quarters 1 through 3 against Philly, 10 against the Jets, 0 yesterday against the Giants. I will give Bo Nix credit for being a gamer at the end of these games, and he is playing great at the end of these games. But I have watched the Broncos incredibly closely because I try to watch everything closely, but I watch my bets a little closer. And nothing fills me with more confidence than when I see Bo Nix is launching a deep ball on the run, that thing is sailing out of bounds. And I have seen it play in, play out, and then he has flipped the switch in these fourth quarters. And that matters for long term potentially. But I thought the Broncos defense yesterday was disappointing. I thought Sean Payton's game plan yesterday was disappointing. And I think that the last 2 games against the Giants and the Jets were as tough, ugly a wins as you're going to have. And so, no, could I be wrong about them missing the playoffs? Sure. I still think they're going to have to fight to get in, but I do not look at them as a team nearly as good as their record.
I'm with you. Look, they might make the playoffs. I'm not saying they can't make the playoffs, but although that is a tough schedule. But I don't believe, they're not a contender. And it's the offense. And Bo Nix, as you said, he's been great in the fourth quarters. He's got an 87 passer rating. This is for the season. 6.1 yards per attempt. And 62% completion. None of those numbers are good. And when you watch them, we know the defense is great. They lead the league in sacks. Their defense overall is good, despite yesterday.
Jackson Dart didn't seem to have
okay, but overall they've been a really
was their
good
first bad defensive
team. Right, they've been a very good defensive team overall. But offensively, I think that's their problem. If the Jets had a pulse offensively, they would have beat them. Yep. And obviously, if the Giants don't collapse, they'd have beat them. So might make the playoffs, but not a contender.
So we do this all the time. If this team would have done this, they could have won. Yeah. This team is legit. This team is legit, and I'll tell you why. They're legit because there are not many teams that could be in these situations that they have been in and find themselves on the winning side of them.
That's fair.
Because of how sound they are defensively. Now, did they give up a lot yesterday against the Giants? Absolutely. But sometimes you let your guard down. What they can't have is those numbers from their quarterback. And if you look at yesterday's game, before I even get to the game, before I even get to this, we can go to the stats. This is you got to find a way, if you're Sean Payton, to get that fourth quarter version of Bo Nix for the entirety of the game. Because that would only then make them even more legit.
Then they would be an excellent team.
Yeah, if they had hit fourth quarter Knicks throughout the game.
And the reason why I say that they're legit is because you can the 3 quarters of the way he's performing, it not only wears on fans and viewers, it wears on the team.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're man, come on, can we get something? They're on the field. They're getting these stops. They pitched basically a shutout in the second half. Well, not a shutout, but they did their job well enough to where, okay, we're going to give you another chance, offense. We're going to give you another chance, and we keep doing this. And even as at receivers, you talk about him throwing those balls out of bounds, but then something clicks. And it's who are you?
Yeah. And what does that say? Does that say anything to you that, do they take some of the guardrails off in the fourth quarter, or
it almost makes me feel like they need to, and I know we got to go with no huddle. It almost makes me feel like they need to just literally no huddle it. Put pressure.
Yeah, play the 2-minute offense.
Absolutely.
Early.
Put the pressure on him because he seems to get the best version out of Bo when the
Yes.
pressure is at its
He's not worried.
at its highest.
Not worried about making a mistake.
33
You're not
points in
thinking.
the fourth quarter. They'd have 132 if they play that way the whole game. That would be excellent. to beat, dude. What's the score?
Speaking of
Holy
excellent.
cow, 132 to 27. Christian McCaffrey having a year that rivals Saquon's CMC-esque year, bro. 31 touches, over 200 yards from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns, caught 7 pillows. How dangerous are the 49ers when Purdy returns? Now, they are 4-1 with Mac Jones.
Look,
Pillowy balls.
they are and Mac started out his first 3 games. He going for 300 yards a game.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2, particularly yesterday, they have kind of won in spite of Mac.
In spite?
His last 2 games, he's got 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
So Juwan Jennings, what's he supposed to do, Greg?
Yesterday, an interception, a fumble. He got the fumble.
That was
back.
not
They got
his,
the fumble back.
that was not his fault.
I get it, but you can say that about every single quarterback. It's on his record as an
sure, but no, he
interception.
passed it and the guy hit the ball.
But look, I do think Jones is on time. And that's why Shanahan liked him in the draft. Like, he's on time, he's on schedule, he's smart, processes well, all that stuff. But I do think they need Purdy's ability to ad lib and his mobility. Like, they wouldn't have beat Seattle if with Mac, just because Mac wouldn't have been able to make that play that Purdy made it. I get it. It would have been a whole different game.
Purdy do you think Purdy can make those plays with this toe injury?
Well, no. I mean, that's the thing. I'm talking about when he gets back 100% healthy, which who knows at that point. But bottom line, McCaffrey is – I am shocked at McCaffrey yesterday in particular, and Robert Saleh to do that without Nick Bosa and Fred Warner yesterday. Like,
Saleh's on.
he's been phenomenal.
He's been the difference maker. Do I believe that this team is more dangerous with Purdy? Or I think this is who the 49ers are. They are well coached. They are going to be put in some great situations. I just don't think the gap from Purdy to Mac Jones is that drastic.
Yeah.
So
they're as dangerous with Purdy as
this is about as dangerous as we're going to
same
get.
danger level.
You might have some
if
slight
Mac gets
different
into the Super Bowl,
schemes that you can put in because Purdy is obviously a little more mobile.
Yeah, it's
This
same
is-
danger
I just
level.
don't think he's going to be mobile. I don't think you come
well,
back
not
from
without
turf toe and start moving.
no. I mean, and they might just keep him out
Brew.
until he's 100%.
Very
which would
quick
be fine.
question.
Be smart.
Because I don't want the Purdy conversation's either going to be 45 minutes or 40 seconds, so let's just do
Always
this.
tough.
Does CMC have a shot to be on the ballot tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. Just because if he keeps this up, like I think
But, I mean, they're 5-2.
He's been good throughout the season. He was great yesterday. I don't think going into yesterday, obviously Taylor's ahead of him. I had Bijan ahead of him. He outplayed Bijan.
Yeah.
But probably not tomorrow.
Okay.
He looks fresh too, man.
Yeah.
And he's
CMC
taking
does.
The
he's
double
staying healthy.
tendonitis in the last year. You got the year off.
No, he looks great.
Saquon spent the year running for 2,000 yards. He's tired. CMC had the year off. He looks fresh.
All right, head to Dallas. Cowboys put up 44 on the Commanders. Dallas now 3-3-1. Washington loses the game, and Jayden Daniels, who left with a hamstring. Commanders below 500. Hold on, Dusty was in my ear. Dusty, what's the latest from Dan Quinn? I'll just repeat it. Not long term, according to Dan Quinn.
That's it though. Like
That's what Dusty, according to Dan Quinn via Dusty. That's all he said.
3 games,
What's the story of this game for you?
Okay, Hubs, tell me in my ear if the line is Dan Quinn can say what he wants, but as long as I'm checking on DraftKings right now. As long as they're still 10-point underdogs, it means, which they are, they don't think Jayden's playing this week. You know, it can not be long term, but if they're 10-point dogs, Vegas is telling us they don't think he's playing this week. The bigger story is the Commanders, in my opinion, for 2 reasons. One is those of us, no, I know that. I'll get to that in a second. Those of us that were concerned about Jayden coming into the league because of durability have now seen Jayden through 1 1/3 seasons, get his ribs cracked, hurt his knee, and now have a weird soft tissue thing that seemed to be like related to the knee, but not, I don't know, whatever it is. it's 3 separate injuries.
Right.
One of which he got knocked out of a game for, another of which he missed 2 games for, and this one it looks like he's going to miss a game. So that's a concern. The other concern is they're in 13th place in the NFC, and their next 3 are, as Greg was pointing out, Kansas City, Seattle, Detroit, and they have 2 more left against Philly. Yeah. It is very difficult for me to see how this team is going to be able to make the playoffs. And that's, to me, the story. Like, you can't, teams that are fighting for that last playoff spot just beat you in back-to-back weeks in the Bears and the Cowboys. And you don't have to worry about tiebreakers, oddly, with the Cowboys, because since they have a tie, you're not going to be in to have the same record as them. But you do have to worry about it with the Bears, and you lost to them. So, to me, that's the bigger story. A team that was, not on this show, but a somewhat trendy pick to go to the Super Bowl, and was my pick, to be fair, to win that division, is... I think they are teetering on their season being over, Greg.
Yeah, bigger story is definitely the Commanders. I didn't have them making the playoffs, not because of injuries. I just didn't think that they could recapture what they did in year 1 with Jayden Daniels. But when you lose to the Cowboys, a team now you're in 3rd place in that division, you not only suffered the loss, you suffered an even greater loss, in my opinion, with your quarterback. Because to your point, last year, healthy. Now we're starting to see this, and I don't knock them for that, because you're not going to get through this type of a game and never get injured. You're going to have injuries. But when you see that this team offensively, they no Deebo Samuel, haven't had Terry McLaurin for the last 4 weeks or so, and now your quarterback is potentially teetering on, is he going to play? That's not a good sign when you look at the schedule coming up and you know we need our players in order to compete and win these types of games. Yeah, so this is the bigger for Commanders in the loss.
It's so weird. I know, just doing the 49ers story and then the Commanders story. 49ers lost their quarterback, lost defensive players, lost offensive players, and it's like they're still in it. No, great coaching. But Commanders are done, Brew?
They're in trouble. They're in trouble. There's no doubt.
And I mean,
it feels like a lost year the whole time, because, like you said, McLaurin's been out for so long. Deebo now is out. Jayden's been kind of in and out.
That Thursday night game killed him with Eckler popping his Achilles, Wise getting hurt. And now, 10-point dogs at Arrowhead.
Vladdy coming in with the Austin Matthews jersey. Mariners, Blue Jays, winners goes to the World Series. Coverage starts at 7. We're going to tell you who wins next. Imagine if we just knew who.
Style,